Hello, Scuba Believers, and welcome to another edition of the Untitled Entrepreneur, episode number 2. So we're talking to a brand new entrepreneur that has a fantastic software program that he just recently put out at the time of this recording called Elementary Analytics. It's an analytic program that he designed himself that was working so well, and when he showed other people what his program could do for him, everybody else wanted to see if they can get access to it. So he decided to try selling it. During the interview, you could listen to see some of his pitfalls and problems and take a listen to some of the great books that he read that influenced his decisions in releasing the program, some of his failures that he went through, and other exciting things that happened to him on the way. So today we're talking to Phillip Hughes, and here we go. Salutations, School Believers, and we are again here with another great brand new entrepreneur. We're here with Phillip. Hey, Phillip.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
Great. Thanks for being on my show. Now I have a really serious question to ask you. Okay. All right. Are you a school believer?
Of course, I'm a school believer. Who isn't a school believer?
That's great. We have our next school believer, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Phillip. Now, Phillip, I gotta say, I'm really excited about this particular interview because you are definitely the furthest person that I've ever talked to, like ever, not even on a regular phone call. So I'm really excited about having you.
Nice, brilliant.
All the way from the UK. So I appreciate you coming on the show.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
All right. So first, what I'd like to do is tell us how long you've actually been in your business and what your business actually is, and a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so the business in the current form is a software product called Elementary Analytics, and it was re-released in October 2020 in the current version that we've got now. But the actual idea and the initial version is probably about 2 years in the making. So that's what we do. And Elementary Analytics is to help small businesses, digital agencies, freelance marketers to make sense of the Google Analytics stats, the Google search traffic stats, Facebook Insights, Instagram business account, LinkedIn company page. It's all distributed everywhere. And what we're doing with our dashboard is we're pulling it into one place and giving you all your information in one page so you can see how things are performing, make decisions, and see how your marketing campaigns are going. That's it in a nutshell.
That's amazing. Analytics is really important, especially if you want to keep your internet presence kind of in the right place. You got to keep your energies in the right places where you're getting the most hits, so you can make those good decisions of where to put possible money or energy into where you're going to go.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So what actually made you want to start doing all this? I mean, it's for me, I'm not a technical guy. I'm going to be honest with you. So I'm sure you have a history about why you kind of went all technical and came up with this.
Yeah, of course. So I'm a software developer by trade. Has been doing that, for about 15 years now. And what we started doing, me and a few friends started building sort of software-based products on the side to try and get that into a business and to become our own bosses. And one of the products we built was a mobile app, basically. And the mobile app completely bombed, wasn't successful at all. But using social media to promote the apps, our social media got a huge following. So our Facebook page had like 180,000 followers just on that one platform.
Wow.
So we started to look at how can we take our audience, get it to our website, and then try and monetize the website and start a business around sort of our content, a little bit of a media agency. So I'd stopped doing a lot of coding in terms of building the apps and things. So my technical skills then moved over to sort of analysis, looking at our website traffic, looking at Facebook Insights, trying to then delve into like Instagram business account information and just see how it all linked together. And just as an example, if you go to your Facebook page and go, give me the insights for this week, Facebook spits out a spreadsheet that's got 68 workbooks on, and then about 20 columns in each workbook with data. And I was like, how are you meant to make sense of all this? So being a developer, I was like, right, can I put something together that will bring all the stats together and show me like what key information that I want to look at on a daily basis and turn it from this 3, 4, 5, 6 hour job that I'm doing maybe nightly or weekly to take like minutes, and then be able to do it not only for the business account, but for my blog, my portfolio website when I was trying to do freelance work, and just make it repeatable. So that's where Elementary Analytics was born, was just trying to solve my own headache and just save myself hours a week. So, and then it kind of snowballed into showing it to people. Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that. Can I get access to it? And it has just been going on from there.
That's amazing. I got to tell you, I'm not very savvy when it comes to my social medias. I'm pretty good with Facebook, but after that, I'm pretty much lost. So I'm still kind of teaching myself a lot of that. But
Yeah, definitely.
a couple of things I really like here is number one, you found a problem. You found a problem that most people had. Actually, it was even your own problem, and you took it upon yourself to solve that problem, and that is an amazing thing, because a lot of people go, oh well, a lot of people go, well, you know, so we'll figure it out, or I'll just blow my way through it. Instead of doing that, you said, you know, if I'm having this problem, there's got to be other people in this world having that same problem, and you took it upon
Exactly.
yourself to do that, and met the needs of not just yourself but everybody else. So I commend you for that. That's really awesome that you
Oh,
have
thank
the
you.
savvy to do that. So
Yeah.
I know you've been doing this for a little while, but what are some of the problems or pitfalls you've had and that you've encountered in your journey up to this point?
Oh, so many. I think one of the things, like we're saying, for me is I've got, I call it a project graveyard. I've got all these software products and ideas and website ideas that just don't see the light of day, or they've failed. And I think one of the issues I had, and even with Elementary Analytics, is putting sort of something up front, a way of testing your idea, seeing if something's going to work before actually building it. So there's been so many times where I've had a thought it's a great idea, and the mobile app startup I was in was a prime example. There was 3 of us involved, and we all got excited with it, and we thought we were going to be millionaires within 6 months, and nobody started using it. Literally, I think after a couple of years, we got about 5,000 downloads, but the upfront effort to get a mobile app onto the App Store was like 12 months of me building something, and also one of my friends actually getting the content together, putting the content to back end every night. So we had all this data to go with it. So 2 of us, spare time for 12 months for it to fail can be really, really hard to take. So I think one of the things I've learned is just to try and validate your idea and see if it's something that people actually want. So Elementary Analytics isn't, but there's been other things that I've done on the side. So like any mobile apps I've come up with, I've done a little add-in for Outlook, and I actually went and spoke to people on Reddit to see if it was something they'd used before I even started thinking about building it. So one of the biggest lessons I've learned is trying to put an effort up front before you build it to validate if it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
getting that smallest viable product out there just to see if anybody will even use it is really important. And just to get other people's opinions and say, hey, will this work? Well, this is good, but you should probably think about flipping this or smidging that to make it a product that's actually, from what I've seen so far in the research I've done, a really, really handy product to have when you need to keep track of your analytics. So kudos to you, my friend.
Yes, thank you very much.
So I'm sure you've had some kind of influences or people that you looked up to or anything like that. Do you have anybody that kind of keeps you moving forward, that influences what you do?
Oh, there's so many. I think when I started on my journey, so about 10 years ago, I can't remember the exact time I read it, and I've just read the book recently. So I read The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, and that just completely rocked my world. And even recently, with a lot of overwhelm I've been having with trying to get the product out there, trying to find customers, get sort of development work done, I've been getting overwhelmed. But I revisited The 4-Hour Workweek, and it's a very sort of misleading title, but it also tried to get you thinking about how you can be productive. Is the thing you're trying to do, is it actually, do you even need to look at it? Do you even need to work at it? Can you forget about it? And just things like, with me trying to run the product, using things like virtual assistants to do like research for content and things like that. So that's been a really, really good book for me to first start as the inspiration that you can actually do something for yourself on the side and figure it all out. So I think it was a good one to get motivated, and also a little bit of a guide and a high level view of how you can actually run something just you to get started and not be completely overwhelmed and working 80 hours a week. So that was a real inspiration I still look at. Another good one that got me started, again, for people looking for inspiration, is a gentleman called Chris Gillibo, who wrote the $100 Startup. And again, that was a fantastic book because it wasn't sort of a guide of him saying, oh, this is how you should do things. It's just like a collation of people's stories that have had ideas, or right, I need to start a business for myself because I've been made redundant. And it's just a real good, again, motivational thing that you can just do something out. It doesn't necessarily have to be what you know, what you do. You can figure it out for a really, really low amount. I think that's a real one to get motivated. At the minute, I'm in Russell Brunson's world. So, do you know, ClickFunnels and Russell Brunson and .com Secrets. So he's built this very big software product, and a lot of people are using it now in a very short space of time. So I'm trying to look at what he does and read his books to try and give me inspiration and a framework to try and build my software product to similar to how he's done it with his. So that's a gentleman I'm spending a lot of time listening to his podcast, reading his books to try and learn some skills from that marketing standpoint.
Yeah, you have a lot of influences. And I got to tell you, the 4-Hour Work Week and the $100 Startup, those are two books I've read numerous times, and every time I read that book, I come away with something a little bit different, something that I could tweak in my business, that just makes it a little bit better. So
yeah.
And could you explain again the Russell, what was his name? Russell Rockwell, what was that again?
Russell Brunson. Russell Brunson, Brunson.
And what was the name of the website again?
So he runs a software product called ClickFunnels.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And just so anybody knows that's listening or watching this, anything that's mentioned here as far as books or websites or anything like that, you will have a opportunity to look at them in the show notes. I'll have something in the show notes for y'all to take a look at there, maybe possibly go into those. So, all right, that's great. That's awesome. Now, I know, like you said, you're just getting started. I knew you had kind of came from a long way from programming to now, but
yeah,
when will you know you've made it? I mean, what does that look like to you when you get to that one point where you say, hey, this is where I wanted to be and I'm finally made it? What does that look like to you?
When I quit my job, basically, that's it. That's the. I have a number for the monthly subscribers I want for the product, but also to quit my job, and the number, the target I want for the product, the number to be able to quit my job is actually a lot lower. So I think I've got two sort of goals immediately. The quit the job and do it full time is something that's.
So when you walk into your boss and say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't work for you anymore because I'm making too much money doing this. See you later. That's when you know you've made it, right?
Yeah. That's the goal, and that's the dream. And like, I think the 4-Hour Work Week is, again, going back to that book, it's about, you know, doing things on your terms. And I think for a while I've been uncomfortable with being basically told what to do. So I want to do what I want when I want, for as much as I want and stuff. So that's the motivation, definitely.
It sounds like you're looking.
I'll make it.
Yes, absolutely. It sounds like you're looking for freedom.
Yeah.
All right. I think all of us entrepreneurs really are looking for that freedom to be able to do what we wanted to do, to be able to take that walk, to be able to spend time with our family and our children and nurture them instead of working 80 hours a week, like you're saying, trading those dollars for time. Just, you know, especially for us, it just doesn't quite work. Some people it's okay, but not for guys like us, right?
No, and I think going back to that, I think it came to a head. I worked for a company, I'm trying to think how many years ago. So when I first started the mobile app business, I was probably about 6 months, maybe 18. It was either 6 or 18 months. I can't remember the time scale.
Mm-hmm.
And I was basically a friend's stag party. We were going to Spain. So I was going on that. And then I was invited on a walking holiday up to the coast of Scotland, in the Highlands of Scotland, 2 weeks later. And then it's Glastonbury Festival, well known in the US. It's a big music festival. So then that was a few weeks later, and I got invited to that. And basically, I went to my boss and said, I want to do another thing. And he said, no, you can only do one. And we're not going to give you all that time off in a short space of time, even though I had the holidays. And the company I worked for at the time, they had you working long hours in contracted basically, and also then not being able to afford all these three things as well. And I was just like, you know what, this is it now. I'm fed up of this, and yeah, that's when I really started pushing to try and figure this sort of entrepreneurship and side hustle lifestyle out to get time freedom and trying to be a bit more financially secure as well.
All right. It sounds like, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's cool. Sounds like that was kind of the catalyst that put things together for us. You know, I'm tired of this. Let's start putting some energies into something I know is going to be viable for you. All right. So I'm gonna throw an example at you. Say that you just happen to run into somebody that wants to do the exact same thing that you are, you know, starting your program and business and things like that. What would you tell them? Would you give them any advice? Is there a direction that you would point them, saying, "Hey, this is what you really should do if you want to do what I'm doing"?
I'd get them to read the book "Will It Fly" by Pat Flynn to basically work out your idea and validate it. I know we've touched on this, but that was the biggest mistake for me I've done. And it's great as well because it's a good framework, and he actually talks about the book. If you get actual bad feedback, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. So I think you've got these software ideas you want to do. You can go and do them and get them validated. One thing I would say as well is I've made the mistake is if you get an idea validated, stick with the path you then want to go with it, and trust your instincts, trust your ideas. Because especially with elementary analytics in the early days, I think I delayed maybe even up to 12 months really pushing it out to people, because it was always like, oh, well, it should be doing this, or it should be doing this, or it's not in depth enough, or there was always someone's opinion that was influencing me. And what I'm learning now is basically, yes, listen to the advice, but what you want and what your idea and vision of it is, just stick to it and be very disciplined and focused on it, because no one's going to know more about your product. No one's going to be more passionate about your product than you, and no one's going to be as committed to the product as you. So don't then get disheartened with it because it moves away from what you want. Just stick to your guns and stick to your vision. I think that's one of the advice I give to people once you've validated that your idea has got legs, basically.
That's fantastic advice. Yeah, definitely. You know, the book that you're talking about, and one thing that you touched on too is trusting your gut. I think trusting your gut, and because you're the one person that's really putting this together, is probably one of the most important things that you should really consider. And instead of, you know, like you said, don't just, you know, not listen to everybody, but make sure that you trust in yourself into taking the positive things that you get from other people and incorporating that into what you're doing. But you got to make sure you check with your gut first and make sure that's right with you. So that's awesome. Good stuff. All right, now something similar but different at the same time. If I was looking for somebody to hire to make a program like you did, and I have you but two other people at the same time that's offering me the same type of deal, same type of money, similar experience, how would you set yourself apart from these other two people?
For me, especially, well, to do it from like elementary analytics, I'm trying to make it simple and accessible for people, and that is my differentiator. It's simple. There's no setup. You just click a couple of buttons and away you go. Because even the competitor research I've done, and they promote themselves as being easy to use, it's not. And what I'm saying with our product, you can do more with less. So instead of having all these stats that you can get out of Google Analytics, I think there's like 205 stats you can get. And people say, oh, you can integrate and tweak it, and you can have this stat, and if you want to tweak it, I was like, no, we show you 6 stats from your Google Analytics, and we've done the research, and these are the 6 simple stats you can look at to easily see if things are growing. So my differentiator is simple, accessible stats that will give you the information you need to get going. That answer your question? Is that what you're sort of after?
That's good. That's really, really good. That reminds me of an acronym that I always hear about called KISS. It's keep it simple, stupid. You know, yeah. And basically, you know, if you get too much information all at once there, it gets too confusing, and then people get frustrated, then they just shut the thing off because they don't want to deal with it anymore. And keeping things simple actually has me go back to Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was very big on keeping things really simple in his Apple products when he released them, where you can actually, I've heard stories where you can go to a third world country and hand them one of the simple Apple phones or iPads, and they're off and running. That's how simple it was. And when you have something that simple where people can do that with, they're a lot more apt to attach to it and really like it because they understand it. I know for myself, if I can't understand something, I get frustrated with it. I don't want to deal with it because I just don't understand it. So I just toss it or get frustrated with it and walk away. So keeping it simple is really key to what you're doing. And it sounds like you're following that. So you know, I commend you for that. That's amazing.
Definitely. I think one of the things as well that's something I wanted, again, sticking to my vision of the product. That's what I wanted, but also chatting with a lot of people who, I don't look at my Google Analytics because it's just too complicated. And I keep hearing that straight away. People set up the website, put Google Analytics on it, and then never look at it because as soon as they go into the dashboard, they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. So there's just a massive market to go, here's the 5 stats you need to look at. Don't worry about it. Here they are. It's gone up compared to last month, or it's gone down compared to last month. You need to do something, or you need to repeat what you're doing. And that's the simple thing you can just do with it.
All right. That's the goal. Awesome. Good stuff. So here's a good question. And I kind of stole this question from another podcast. So sorry, guys. What is the one question you wish I had asked you, but I didn't?
Oh, one question. Oh God. So the one thing would be, if you had the time over again, would you do it the same way? I think that'd be the interesting one.
Oh, I like that one. Okay, so I'm gonna officially ask you that question. Go for it.
Mm-hmm. No, I wouldn't. So I think it goes back to trusting your gut, and trusting what you are having the vision with it. Because I think I've touched on it. That I delayed the 12 months, the 6 months of the 12 months, and it was kind of from listening to people's advice, but I think it was also just like imposter syndrome, or you're scared of it being out there. Is one of the features that I wanted in Elementary Analytics was like this simple one-click reporting, and I was convinced that was going to be the best bit of the product, but I took too long to do it. People kept saying, oh, I'm not sure about that, blah, 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 blah. And that just delayed it by, I reckon, about 12 months. Now, if it had just gone, built out that reporting, got it in there, and then got it out to people, because when I finally showed the reporting software to people, that's when they signed up. One girl was like, right, can I register today? That'll be brilliant to serve my clients, and it's going to save me 10 hours a week. So for me, that is the one thing that I thought was going to be the key to it, but I didn't act on that feeling or that gut. I kind of tried to justify it by doing research, market research, seeing what competitors doing, seeing what people say. While if I'd just done it, got it out there, I'd have probably be 12 months further on, or God knows what the product would be like now. So I think it's that one. Do it differently by just executing. I think I didn't execute enough in the early days with what I wanted from the product. So that's what I do differently.
That actually brings to mind a little saying that I always run into, especially in instances like this, is the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, but the second best time to plant a tree is today. So don't wait.
I said that to myself this morning about doing a blog post. I said that about a blog post. I was just like, yeah, I said that exact same phrase, and it's a brilliant phrase. So I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
So, ladies and gentlemen, my phrase has been validated. All right. So, yeah, and that's the thing too. And I kind of ran into the same thing too. I have the ideas for being a karaoke DJ and a music DJ for probably a good 2 to 3 years. And this podcast that I'm doing now has been kind of a throw off of that. But I can only imagine where I would be sitting right now if I would have started this whole adventure 2 years ago. How much further I would have been along, how much younger I would have been at that particular time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's important to do it today, and that goes right into my mantra, which is something that my son said when he was 6 years old. He's 14 now, but I live it by this day, and I actually end all my programs with, I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today.
Nice.
And to have that come out of a 6-year-old really kind of puts things into perspective. And to this day, he lives by it. He's gone through junior high, high school, living by those words, and he's doing really good for himself. So I always accredit him for that. So, all right. So my next question is, are we ready?
Yeah.
What are your goals for the next 6 months? We have what I do is in 6 months, I'm going to contact you again and see if you've reached these goals. So Philip, what are your goals for the next 6 months?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think the first goal you can hold me to is that I've quit my job. That's the first one. But I think what I'm looking to get is I want to get to the 100 paying customer mark. I'm still quite early in the journey with it, but that's what I really want to do. Is I think that milestone to getting the first 100 would be huge, and something that that's what I've got written down. I think on the whiteboard next to my desk, it's 10 signups a week. So I think that is the weekly goal, and that's the first real big milestone I want to get to.
Awesome. Now, what would that mean to you if you're actually able to get 100 people to sign up? What does that actually mean for you?
Oh God, I think it's interesting. That is the biggest excitement is when you get that email alert to say you've got your first paying customer for your software product. And I don't know whether I'll be able to beat that feeling. I think it's just an unbelievable feeling. But I think the sort of validation of all the effort you've put in to get 100 people are like, yeah, I'll pay for you that month on month because I'm seeing the benefit from it. It'll just mean so much. And I think, for example, the first software product I worked on as a side hustle, I started in 2011. So you're talking nearly a decade's worth of effort. So to be able to take all that 10 years worth of effort, learnings, and start executing on it and getting customers, it'll just be a massive reward, and just a massive pat on the back for just the sticking to it, learning, trying, and trying to get somewhere to have this vision of the freedom that I want and working towards. So yeah.
Philip, I'm going to be honest with you. That was kind of a trick question. And the reason being is I'm actually glad you answered the way you did, because the answer I was actually expecting was actually a number. I was expecting, yeah, that means I'll be making this much money. But you didn't answer that way. You said, that means I have accomplished something for myself. This is my authentic self. This is saying it would make me feel good just to be able to help these people and, have them succeed. It would make me feel good to have them succeed. That's what I took out of it. So you definitely answered that a lot differently than I was expected, but definitely a lot more positive than I was expected. So I hope that comes across to anybody else that listens to this and sees that Philip is actually really a true guy at heart and is not looking for that dollar sign. The dollar sign actually is a nice afterthought, but really the thought of actually helping somebody first, that's amazing, Philip. I really commend you for that. That's really good.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So Philip, we're getting close to the end here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you kind of go off here. This is your time to shine, Philip. Tell us about your business, and this is your time to advertise yourself. Okay, ready, set, go.
Okay, so thanks for the opportunity. So yeah, so if you're struggling with Google Analytics, trying to make sense of how things are working in your business. So you've got a small business, and it could be an example. I had a friend who's got a jewelry business. In the pandemic, obviously they had to shut the jewelry store and they didn't even have a website. So he went to everything online, and he come to me and was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to look at all these stats. We got him on the tool. He started looking into things, and just one day we were looking at his Facebook stats and how it impacted his website traffic. And he's like, what's that relating to? And what we do in the product, we show what posts have been performing well. And he clicked on it, and he's like, I don't even know what that Facebook post is. And it's the girl that works with him had done a post, and they ended up getting 3 sales from it. So if you're struggling with all this digital information and all this effort you're putting in, give Elementary Analytics a try. It's a 30-day free trial. So if you don't like it, you don't find the value of it, I won't ask for your credit card details or anything. Just give it a try and see if you can find these correlations. And for him, he was like, this is brilliant. From thinking that the pandemic's going to ruin his family business that's been going for 50 years, to then be able to go online and then actually see what he's doing is making sales and keeping the business going, and be able to transition from brick and mortar store to being an e-commerce store as well. It was just great to see someone have this light bulb moment as well, and to say, like, we can repeat that and we can have sales. So if you're trying to sell something online, or you're trying to build up your website traffic, and you're using social media and you're just fed up of all this information, just give Elementary Analytics a try. We're really trying to delve deep into 5 key stats for each platform that you can just see performance and correlations and things like that. And we recently put in Google Search Console information as well. So one of the holes we did have in the product was you could see your website traffic, and you can see how social media could improve that. But what if people are finding you in Google? So we've put that in as well. So you've got this organic traffic. You're doing a lot of content marketing. You're doing a lot of blogging. That could be impacting it as well. So you can see this like overall shape of your online business using our tool. And like I say, it's 30 days, free trial. Just give it a go and see if you can find how things are working, and repeat them and grow your business, basically.
All right. That sounds great. Now, how do we get a hold of you?
On LinkedIn will probably be the best place. I'm quite active on LinkedIn. So I'll give you my LinkedIn if you want it to be better in the show notes. If you
Yeah,
if
I could put it in the show notes. If you feel a little more comfortable doing that, that's fine.
Yeah. But if you want to go to the product, elementaryanalytics.com, and you can just register straight from the website. And like I say, 30-day free trial. We won't ask for your credit card details. You can use, it's not metered as well, so you can use the product, everything in the product for as long as you need in them 30 days.
All right, a 30-day free trial, ladies and gentlemen, just to make sure that you really like the thing. So I appreciate that, Philip. Now, not too many people actually do that anymore because they're afraid that they're going to like steal it or just use it for one thing and then throw it away. So, but it doesn't sound like this program's like that at all. So
no, and I think is it mimicking the greatest form of flattery? So if people are stealing it, then I must be onto something. So
you're definitely onto something. I can tell you that, Philip. All right. So if anybody wants to get a hold of me, you could email me at pianotieNtertainment@gmail.com. If you're a business that is less than a year old, please contact me. I'm still looking for interviewees. Contact me at that same email. Give me a message if you want to get a hold of me for anything. Phil, thanks again for coming out. I really appreciate you and appreciate what you're doing. All right, Scoop Believers.
Pleasure.
All right, Scoop Believers. Thank you. Have a good night. All right, that was Phillip Hughes, ladies and gentlemen. He had a lot of great information that you can learn from. To hear about how he put together his program and what it kind of meant for him and the kind of goals that he had for himself for his program. Really, really great. I really hope you all learned something from what he had to say. Make sure you look in the show notes for the books and the program itself, and maybe you could take a look at it and see if it might be something you'd be interested in. If you want to get a hold of me at any time, you could reach me on Twitter at DJ Scoob, that's SKOOB 2021. And if you're interested also in being on the program, please email me at djscoob@uepodcast.net. And if you want to see the show notes and you want to kind of introduce yourself a little bit to the podcast that I have right along with this, you could always reach it at uepodcast.net. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.